This is the OCR GCSE 9-1 Maths Paper 2 from the November 2020 series, and it's a foundation paper. Question number 1. For part A, for the first part, we have to work out -1 plus 6. Now, because of commutativity, we can rewrite this result as 6 subtract 1. On working this out, we get 5. For the next part, 7 subtract -3. Well, this is the same as 7 plus 3, which is 10. For part B, we have to write down two prime numbers between 10 and 20. You will recall that a prime number is a number in which it has 1 and itself only as factors. Now, if we think about possible prime numbers between 10 and 20, we could have 11, 13, 17, and 19. We need two of these to write down. For example, 11 and 13. For question 2, for part A, for the first part, we have to write 350 centimeters in meters. Well, to go from centimeters to meters, we need to divide by 100, and meters to centimeters we need to multiply by 100, and so therefore 350 divided by 100 is 3.5. 350 centimeters is the same as 3.5 meters. Next, we have to write 1.52 litres in milliliters. Well, to go from litres to milliliters, we multiply by 1000, and milliliters to litres, we divide by 1000. And so therefore, if we have 1.52 and multiply this by 1000, we get 1520. So we have 1520 milliliters. So 5.7 centimeters plus 30 millimeters in centimeters. Well, we have to convert the millimeters into centimeters. To go from millimeters to centimeters, we would have to divide by 10, and centimeters to millimeters we have to multiply by 10. And so therefore 30 millimeters, if I divide this by 10, I get 3 centimeters. So we've got 5.7 centimeters plus 3 centimeters, which is 8.7 centimeters. So we end up with 8.7 centimeters. Question number 3 for part A. We have to complete each statement by writing the missing value in the box. Well, here we've got 1/3 equals 2 over something. To go from the 1 to the 2, we multiply by 2, so we also have to do the same thing over here. Multiply by 2. So it turns out we get 2/6, which is equivalent to 1/3. And for the next part, we've got 1 and 1/7 being equivalent to something over 7. Well, this clearly will be 8 over 7. 7 goes into 8 one whole time, and what's left over is 1. Now for part B, for the first part, we have to work out 0.8 divided by 2. Well, this quite simply will be 0.4. And then for the next part, we've got 1.7 multiplied by 2. Well, quite simply, this is 3.4. Question number 4 for part A, we have to write 0.16 as a fraction in its simplest form. So we've got this 0.16 and we've got 2 digits after the decimal place, so this is the same as 16 over 100. And if I attempt to simplify this by dividing top and bottom by 4, we get 4 over 25. So we have 4 over 25. And now for part B, we have to write 7 over 20 as a decimal. Well, if I've got 7 over 20, I can rewrite the denominator so it's something over 100. On the top, I need a 35. And what this is the same as is 0.35. Question number 5 for part A. We have to write down the mathematical name of each of these shapes. A triangle with 3 equal sides. Well, quite simply, this is an equilateral triangle. And now, for the next part, a quadrilateral with 4 equal sides and no right angles. Well, this will be a rhombus. For part B, here is a rectangle. On the diagram, we have to draw the rectangle's 2 lines of symmetry. Here are the 2 lines of symmetry. Next, the rectangle has rotation symmetry of order 2. Amir says a rectangle is the only quadrilateral that has rotation symmetry order of 2. Is she correct? Show how you decide. Which is incorrect because a rhombus and a parallelogram also have a rotation symmetry of order 2. And now for part C, we have to add the correct symbols to this diagram to show that the lines AB and DC are parallel. Well, we could have a line here, also a line here. We have shown that AB and DC are parallel. Question number 6. Clara travels from her home to Stoke. The distance from her home to Stoke is 100 miles. She travels at an average speed of 50 miles per hour. She stops 20 minutes on the journey. Clara arrives in Stoke at 10:10 AM. At what time did she leave home? Well, here we have to essentially work backwards. What we need to do is find out the time it takes from Stoke to home. So we need to find the time. We've got the distance, we've got the speed. So this is equal to 100 miles divided by 50 miles per hour. So therefore, the time is 2 hours. So therefore, we've got 10:10 AM. We need to take away this 2 hours. We also need to take away the 20 minutes. And if we do this, we get 7:50 AM. So we've got 07:50 AM. So we've got 7:50 AM. Question number 7. This is Nadia's bar chart to show the number of goals scored by 4 teams during November. So we've got the number of goals scored in November with the associated team, and Blake says Nadia's bar chart shows that United scored twice as many goals as City. Is Blake correct? Give a reason for your answer. Well, if we take a look over here, for United we've got 12, for City we've got 10, so clearly this person is not correct because 10 multiplied by 2 does not equal 12. Part B, give one way in which Nadia can improve her bar chart. Well, if we take a look here, it starts at 8. So one improvement is we could start the vertical scale from 0. Now for part C, Karim says, out of these 4 teams, United achieved the highest mean number of goals scored per game during November. What assumption has Karim made? Well, all teams played the same number of games. That's one of the assumptions we could have made. Question number 8. We have to write 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 as a power of 3. Well, 3 is being multiplied by itself 4 times, so we've got 3 to the 4. Now for part B, we have to show that the answer to 2 to the power of 6 times 4 to the power of 1 is a square number. 2 to the power of 6, that is equal to 64. And then 4 to the power of minus 1, that's a quarter. So we end up with 16, because 64 divided by 4 is 16, and 60 is a square number. Question number 9, we have to write each of the following ratios in their simplest form. We've got 12 to 15, and if I divide both sides by 3, then we end up with 4 to 5. So we've got 4 to 5. Next, we've got 600 grams to 1.8 kilograms. First of all, you'll notice the units are different. We need to convert kilograms to grams. The way we can do this is multiply the kilogram unit by 1000 to convert it into grams. And grams to kilograms we could divide by 1000. And so 1.8 kilograms, multiplying this by 1000, we've got 1800 grams. And therefore, this is equivalent to 600 grams to 1800 grams. And if I divide both sides by 600, we end up with 1 gram to 3 grams. So the ratio is simplified to 1 to 3. Question number 10. For part A, we have to simplify 5b to the 6 divided by b to the power of 2. Well, what this is the same as, if we subtract the powers, is 5b to the power of 6 minus 2, which is 5b to the power of 4. Next, we've got x to the power of 4 to the power of 3. If I multiply the powers, this is the same as x to the power of 4 lots of 3. So we have x to the power of 12. Question number 11. Theo invests £500 at a rate of 6% per year simple interest. We have to work out the interest he receives in 1 year. Well, what we need to do is work out 6% of 500. 6%, well, that's the same as 6 over 100. And we will then multiply this by 500. So we've got 6 times by 500 over 100. So we've got 6 times by 5, which is equal to 30. So we have £30. This is the interest in 1 year. And now we have to work out the value of this investment after 5 years. So the interest after 5 years, we've got 5 times by 30, which is 150. and therefore the total amount would have, we've got 500 plus 150, which is 650. So we've got £650. Question number 12. A jacket has its price reduced by 20% in a sale. The sale price is £56. We have to work out the price of the jacket before the sale. So if we reduce the original price by 20%, that means what's left over is 80%. And 80% then would correspond to the £56. From this, essentially, we want to be working out what 100% is. And for us to work out what 100% is, it may be a good idea to work out what 10% is. We divide by 8. So if I do 56 divided by 8, that's 7. And then to work out what 100% is, I need to multiply 10% by 10. So we have 70. So the original price is £70. Question number 13. A bag only contains red, blue, yellow and white counters. A counter is taken at random from the bag. The table shows the probability it is red and the probability it is blue. That's what we see here. There are twice as many yellow counters as there are white counters in the bag. You have to complete the table. Well, for yellow and white, the probability of us having yellow or white is equal to 1 minus 0.24 minus 0.34. And if I work this out, we get 0.42. So what we're saying over here is yellow and white give together 0.42. Now there's twice as many yellow as there are white. So if we use the bar model, we've got twice as many yellow as there are white. So the ratio is 2 to 1, and this is all equal to 0.42. So one of these boxes then is equal to 0.42 divided by 3, which is 0.14. So I've got 0.14 in each of these. So 0.14 plus 0.14 is 0.28. And 0.14, well, that'll just be yellow. So we've got 0.28 and 0.14. Question number 14. For part A, for the first part, we have to sketch the graph of x equals 3. Well, here we'd have a horizontal line passing through the point x equals 3. The graph would look something like this. We have here the line x equals 3. It intercepts the x-axis at the point 3, 0. Next, we have to sketch the graph of y equals x squared plus 1, and we have to show clearly the value of any intercepts. Well, here we've got the graph of y equals x squared, and if I add 1 unit to this, to the y coordinates, here is the graph of y equals x squared plus 1. It crosses the y-axis at the point 0, 1. Now for part B, Toby has sketched the graph of y equals 1 over x below, and we have to make 2 comments about the accuracy of his sketch. Well, the first one, it should not touch the axis. What we see here is the curve is touching the x and y axis. That's incorrect. Next, it should also have a curve in the third quadrant. What we mean by that, the curve should look something like this. Here we've got the curve of y equals 1 over x. It should look something like that. And here, by the way, is the third quadrant when x is negative and y is negative. Question number 15 for part A, we have to simplify 4a minus 2b minus 2a plus 5b. Well, 4a minus 2a, that's 2a, minus 2b plus 5b, that will be 3b. Next, we have to multiply out 4 lots of x plus 3. 4 times by x is 4x, 4 times by 3 is 12. Next, we have to multiply out x plus 5 lots of x minus 2. Different ways we can do this. X times by x is x squared. X times by minus 2, that's minus 2x. 5 times by x, that is 5x. 5 times minus 2 is minus 10. Now collecting like terms, we've got x squared plus 3x minus 10. So I've got x squared plus 3x minus 10. Question number 16. The diagram shows a square and we've got length of 4x minus 10 and 11 minus 2x, and by setting up and solving an equation we have to show that the perimeter of the square is numerically equal to the area of the square. Well, we've got the sides of a square which are equal, which implies that 4x minus 10 is equal to 11 minus 2x. Let's now attempt to solve this. If I add 2x to both sides, then we have 6x minus 10 equals 11, and if I now add 10 to both sides, you will find 6x to equal 21, and if I divide both sides by 6, 6x divided by 6 is just x, and then 21 divided by 6, well, top and bottom can be divided by 3, so that's the same as 7 over 2. In other words, 3.5 if you want. So now that we know what that is, we can find out what the length of the side is. 4 lots of 3.5 and then minus the 10. Let's work out what that is. So if I substitute back in, I've got 4 lots of 3.5 minus 10. So I've got here 14 minus 10, which is 7. So this is the length of the square. So we've got here 4, 4, 4, and 4. For us to work out the area, that will equal 4 times by 4, which is 16 centimeters squared, and the perimeter is equal to 4 plus 4, which plus 4 plus 4, which is 16 centimeters. They both have a numerical value of 16, and therefore we can write down hence shown. Question number 17. Dora has the following number cards. She takes a card at random, replaces the card, and then takes a second card. She adds the numbers on the 2 cards she has taken and records the total. For part A, we have to complete the following table to show all of the possible totals. So here we've got 2 plus 5, which is 7, 3 plus 3, which is 6, 5 plus 2, which is 7. Here are all the possible totals. Next, we have to find the probability that her total is an even. Well, how many evens do we have over here? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We've got 13 numbers out of a total of 25, which are even. Next, a multiple of 3 and 4. Well, multiples of 4 are shown here. And then we also want multiples of 3, so we've got this one, and this one, which are multiples of 3. And what you can see then is there are 14 out of 25, which are multiples of 3 and 4. So our probability is 14 over 25. Question number 18. Charlie and Jasmine share cartons of apple juice. Charlie drinks 1/3 of a carton every day. Jasmine drinks 2/5 of a carton every day. Any apple juice left in a carton at the end of the day is used the following day. The cost of a carton is 70p. Charlie and Jasmine buy just enough cartons to last them for 10 days. How much do they spend in total for these cartons? Give your answer in pounds, show you working. Well, they share cartons and we can find out how much they drink every day. So they drink 1/3 plus 2/5, and if I work this out, I've got 1 times by 5, which is 5, 3 times 2, which is 6, and 3 times 5 is 15. So they drink 11/15 every day. And how much then do they drink in 10 days? Well, 10 times by 11/15, that's going to be 110 over 15. And can I simplify that? 110 divided by 15 is 22 over 3. Which is equal to 7 wholes with 1/3 left over. So seven and 1/3 is drunk in total, and so therefore we require 8 cartons. So 8 cartons are required. And the cost of this, we've got 8 times by 70p, which is 0.7 pounds. So it costs £5.60. So it costs £5.60 altogether. Question number 19. A clock chimes every 20 minutes, a flashlight every 8 minutes. The clock chimes and the light flashes together at 8 o'clock. How many times between 8:01 and 12:30 will the clock chime and the light flash together? Show you working. So here, what we need to do is find out when they flash at the same time. And to do this, we need to find the lowest common multiple of 20 and 8. Well, clearly the lowest common multiple here will be 40. So therefore, they are together every 40 minutes. So we start off with 8 AM. And then if I add on 40 minutes, I get 8:40. Add on another 40 minutes, we get 9:20. Add on another 40 minutes, there's 10 o'clock. Another 40 minutes, get 10:40. Another 40 minutes, we get 11:20. Another 20 minutes, we get 12 o'clock. And after that we'll get 12:40, which is beyond the 12:30. So how many times do they chime and flash together? Well, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, we can't include the 8. So here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can say here, they've flashed and chimed together between 8:01 and 12:30 6 times. Question number 20. A pattern is made from 4 congruent right-angled triangles, which means that they are all the same. The line AC is parallel to the x-axis, and the point A has coordinates 4, 9, and the point B has coordinates 17, 12. That's shown on the diagram. And what we have to do here is find the coordinates of C and D. Well, going from 9 to 12, that's 3. So that means this distance here is 3, because if I add 9 to 3, I get the y coordinate of 12. And that also means then that here to here is 3, and here to here is also 3. Now going from 4 to 17, I need to add on 13, and if I do 13 take away 6, that's equal to 7, which means here to here, okay, is equal to 7. 4 plus 3 is 7, plus another 3 is 10, plus another 7, that gives us 17. And that also means then that this height here is also 7, and this height here is also 7. And also, this too will be 7. So I'm just matching up the lengths of this congruent triangle. So this is also 7. So to find out the coordinates of D, from 4 to the x coordinate of D, we've got 4 plus 3 plus 3, which is 10. But then we go 7 down from 9, which is 2. And then C, that will have the same y coordinate of 9, but the x coordinate, we've got 3 plus 3 plus 7 plus 7, so I'm adding 20 to 4, so that's 24. So I end up with 24, 9 for C, and 10, 2 for D. Question number 21, we have to solve the simultaneous equations 2x plus 3y equals 10 and 3x plus 5y equals 17. I'll just rewrite those equations. We've got 2x plus 3y equals 10, and we also have 3x plus 5y equals 17. Now pick a letter which we want to be the same. I'm going to get the x's the same. Now, if I call this equation 1 and this equation 2, to get the x's the same, I look at the coefficient in equation 1 of x, that's 2, and I multiply 2 by that. And then equation 2, the coefficient of x is 3, so I multiply equation 1 by 3. And if I do that, 2x times by 3 is 6x. 3y times 3 is 9y. 10 times 3 is 30. 3x times by 2 is 6x. 5y times 2 is 10y. 17 times 2 is 34. Let's call this equation 3. Let's call this equation 4. Now I will do equation 4, take away equation 3. My motivation of doing this, the x's will cancel out. 6x take away 6x is 0x, 10y take away 9y is 1y, 34 take away 30 is 4. Y is equal to 4. And I can now substitute this y equals 4 into a new equation. For example, equation 1. So I would have 2x plus 3y. Now remember y is 4. This equals 10. 2x plus 12 equals 10. Subtract 12 from both sides. 2x is equal to minus 2. And dividing both sides by 2, I end up with x equaling negative 1. So I've got negative 1, 4. Question number 22. A weather forecast says the probability that it will rain on Monday is 0.55 and the probability that it will rain on Tuesday is 0.25. Ella draws a tree diagram to show this information. 0.55, 0.35 for Monday, 0.75 and 0.25 for Tuesday. Now, there's 3 errors here and we need to identify those errors. For the first error, for Monday, does not rain should be 1 minus 0.55, which is 0.45, not the 0.35. Next, for Tuesday, 0.25 is incorrectly placed on the does not rain branch. So the 0.25 should be over here instead. Next, a pair of branches is missing for Tuesday after does not rain on Monday. So we need information about what happens if it does not rain on Monday, what would happen on Tuesday after that. So those are the 3 things wrong. Question number 23. AOB is a sector of a circle, centre O. The area of the sector is 8 centimeters squared and we have to work out the exact value of the radius in r centimeters. How would I work out the area of a sector? Well, the area of a sector is equal to theta divided by 360 multiplied by pi multiplied by radius squared. Now I know what the area is, that's 8. That's equal to theta, my angle, 120 over 360. And then I multiply this by pi multiplied by the radius squared. I need to find out what the exact value of r is, meaning no decimals. So 120 over 360 is a third. So I get 8 equals 1/3 times pi times r squared. Multiply through by 3. You can see then 24 equals pi times radius squared. Divide through by pi. Radius squared is 24 over pi, square root. You can then see radius is equal to 24 over pi square rooted. So the radius in exact form is square root of 24 over pi.